You know what? You know what? You changed my perspective. My vote goes from 8.1 to 7.9. So
Let's
you
fucking
did.
go! Drag him down with the rest of us. It's like that scene in Hercules where they feed him the potion. You know what I mean? As a baby,
Yeah.
and he has to
I
drink
still
the
got
fucking
that
potion.
1%.
Let's fucking
Still
go.
got that
Yeah, still got the
1%.
1%, but I got him drinking. I'm like the demons over here. I'm Hades.
Here you go, kid. A little Christian formula. Look at that. Changing. Can we do it now? No. He has to drink the whole potion. Every last drop.
Okay, we got the man, the myth, the legend. Okay, Rapless, how you doing, buddy?
Oh shit! Hello, Blue. I didn't expect. What's up, dude? You
What up,
sliding
man?
into my DMs, man? What
Yeah,
up?
absolutely. I'm sliding into your DMs.
What
Just
up, man?
hide all the feet pics. All right. So, Rapless, you just saw the ball. What did you give it as a scale of 1 to 10? On like 1 to 10, where did you put it?
So overall, I would say I'm between 7.9 and 8.1.
What did you just watch? What did you watch?
What? Okay.
What were you watching?
Let me
that put
understand.
it
Let
in
me
that
understand
range?
your point of view. Okay. Let me just. Okay. Let me understand your point of view, sir.
Okay, all right. Do you want my rating out of 10?
Yeah.
I gave it a 2.
Oh shit!
And I was being generous.
Okay, that's okay.
And I was being
interesting.
generous,
Okay,
like, straight up.
Okay. So
We
my
can
point of
meet-
view.
We'll
Okay.
meet in the middle and we'll say that it was a 2. But yeah, okay. From your point of view,
Okay. Overall, some of the things that I liked was great changes. What did you not? What was the biggest thing that you did not enjoy?
okay. Do you want to start with PVE or PvP?
Well, PvP we can just overall skip because I don't give a shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay, well that's why I like the ball so much. Yeah, for PvPers.
Yeah, the thing,
Well, hold
it
on.
doesn't. Yeah.
So let's talk about PVE. So
Okay.
even from a PVE perspective, this ball was a disaster. Did you get
PvE
any?
perspective,
So
okay.
You're. Let's talk about it from a purely PVE standpoint, because again, you said you don't like PvP. So from a purely PVE
and life skills,
standpoint,
yes.
what new PVE content did you get that encouraged you to interact with other players in the game?
New players interaction. Okay, this is first of all, this is a single player game. I don't know where you pulled out that multiplayer thing, sir.
multiplayer online game. People have been
Okay.
requesting group content in this game for like literally forever. The last group
Okay.
zone that we got was Olin's, right? So like we were really hoping that we would get a new group grind zone, right? Or dungeons or raids and with all the castles in Adania, I'm sure that a lot of the PvPers maybe new grind zones in general, right? But
Yeah.
instead we got instanced grind zones for the top 0.1% of players that only like
Yeah,
you and me can do.
Oh, okay. Also, congrats on the. Yeah, did you know? Is this why you pushed your gear before, right before?
Did I know what?
The 350 AP stuff is coming. That's why you hard pushed the gear.
No. But I did.
Oh,
No. I wanted to know. I wanted 350 because I wanted.
did that enhance extreme right before, and then they announced limited 350 AP content.
Sincerely, Rapless, if I knew that the ball was going to go that poorly, I would have just saved the money. No, I'm just kidding. I wanted to be 350 so that I could do all the content currently in the game. I also figured that it being the top end of gear, I figured it would probably be the benchmark to be the next part of the gear. Like the next region. So like straight up, 350 is kind of just like the cap there. We're almost 355 as it turns out. But like
you're boosted.
Yeah.
You're always boosted.
Wait, whoa, okay, yo, chill. It took me, my Ox Sovereign, 45 attempts. Sept Sovereign, like, what, 32 attempts or whatever the hell on the Sept? And then
how was that the first
the necklace
deck
was
accessory?
crazy. The necklace was crazy. The necklace we got in 2, well, 1 attempt on the day, 2 total, but I don't really count the hammer, so we'll say in 1. But I will tell you, I've already failed 10 times on my belt now. So that's been a little rough. But I was carried on the necklace, no question, because I prayed to you, ironically enough. So what did you love so much about it?
So I would say it's coming from. I'm trying for you to understand my perspective of like why did I score 7.9, 8.1 on the Heidel Ball. I'm comparing it to not what I expect from Heidel Ball, because it's very different, because I assume BDO really wants a different, like, they clearly have a different vision for Heidel Ball. So in my opinion, that's why on my screen I have two things. I have Heidel Ball, what they actually will bring us, and what I want from Heidel Ball. So those are two different things. So the reason why I scored 7.9 and 7.1 is because I'm comparing it to like the Heidel Balls previously. So what I expect realistically from them, if that makes any sense.
Okay, so last Heidel Ball. You rewind all the way. You were at the Heidel Ball in, like, you were with me in Bayat Sanat or whatever the you were with me in real Heidel. That's a 10, right? Because like we were in Heidel. So the experience of being there, obviously sick. A 10. The ball itself, honestly, it was okay. But then we realized that it was actually a complete disaster because they destroyed Node Wars and all of this other stuff. But again, you're not a PvPer, so I get that you didn't care about that too much.
Yeah. The PvP stuff is like when people come to the chat and like, okay, this game is dead because of PvP, like that doesn't really hit the spot for me. It does suck. I would agree that like PvP should obviously exist in games. But there at the same time, there should be an avenue for everything. There should be like, that's why we love BDO. Because there is stuff in life skills. There is stuff for people who just AFK fish. People who are standing in valley. People who are catching, I don't know, horses. PvP as well. Big thing. Well, Well,
I think that the PvPers understand this, and we are all okay with everybody having their avenues to success. What PvPers are upset about is we don't have the avenue to success. PvEers get what they want. Life skillers seem to get what they want, but
life skillers don't get what we want, bro.
Life skillers have gotten a lot of quality of life test updates. Remember, a year ago today, y'all guys didn't even have combined life skills yet. Okay, so like the life skills
that was literally shit update. What do you mean?
What? You didn't like combining family life skills?
I am a very, very small amount of players. I'm representing the person who plays only one character, okay? So combining life skills literally did absolutely nothing for me. I perfectly understand that it helped most of the people, but for me, it did absolutely nothing. Like, you can do all life skills on all characters. For me, it's like, okay, so nothing changed.
That's insane. Okay, well, that's a hot take, but you know, it is what it is. But either way,
that's what I'm saying. It's very different.
You understand, as PvPers, we feel like, again, you look at the overall, how much of the ball talks about like each section of content, and all of PvP was absorbed by this MasterCard tournament that they're putting on, or whatever. That's, again, a very poor formatted tournament. Very, very poor. Again, you have to be in the top 5% of your gear score in order to even participate for your class. And then once you do get into the tournament, it's a capped gear score tournament. Like, what the hell are we talking about? So you have to pay to win to get into the tournament, because a lot of the best players in the community on their respective classes are not geared. So they will literally have to pay to win to get into the tournament, only to use the capped gear in the tournament to show off their skill. I just don't, it just doesn't make any sense. Why not run it like the old best in class tournament, which, Rapalus, I think you were here for, where there was a capped version and an uncapped version? That would be a much healthier way to do it.
Same, like, my take, if you want to hear about my take on PvP, we, as a non-PvPer, so as you PvP, do you PvP?
Yeah, well, I used to when it was good.
Okay, there we go. I was just making sure. So, like, for me, like, I kind of getting into now AOS ranked PvP, but there is no a casual PvP mode for me to get into PvP. That's AOS? The problem for my part. That's literally the only option we have. That's why I'm you have ranked AOS.
T1 Node Wars. That's casual as hell. You can't go wrong with T1 Node Wars.
It's still politics. You need to involve the group. Like, casual PvP, I'm talking about from perspective who, like, for me to experience PvP, I need to just get the taste of it and then slowly get into it. I'm talking about Shadow Arena. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, bro. Shadow Arena would be great. I would love Shadow Arena. What about hardcore servers, though? What about didn't you like hardcore servers?
Yes, and then literally day 2, no, because they ruined my class. And then that's it. Over.
Good.
No, hardcore servers are bad.
Okay. All right. Well, see, there you go. See, that's the overall impression. Every time they seem to release any sort of PvP content, it's ass. Now, but again, we're trying not to focus on PvP here. We're trying not to focus on PvP because, again, like you said,
I still want you to understand.
Go ahead.
I still want you to understand from like a casual PvP perspective person, because a lot of people don't understand this. Because like I do want to get into PvP, but there's no good options. Like, how do I get into PvP? The only options exist is like if I like want to learn about PvP, but why do I want to learn PvP if everything is not so fun, inviting wise?
Yeah, well, I mean, so again, there used to be more options for getting into PvP. Like, again, T1 Node War guilds used to be able to help you get involved. Nowadays, T1 guilds are just like, okay, you drop and then you just run around and free for all, basically. But like, I'd agree, it's not a super great game mode to get into. As a new player, you're looking at AOS, and then that's basically it. AOS. But as a veteran player, you're looking at basically nothing. There's also not much available, even if you are a veteran PvPer. You know, maybe you look at the top of AOS, but again, it's AOS again, because Guild League doesn't have enough guilds to participate and really make it super fun like it used to be. But like, at the end of the day, he's a top 5% PvPer. Why are you asking? Hey, screw you, man. I can shot call super well. Those that can't play, coach, and those that can't coach, sit 30 rows back, shouting obscenities at your mother. I see you. Okay.
Plus, anyway. You gotta give the massive, like, bro, you're really good. Like, people want to watch you, so maybe you suck at PvP. Like, maybe you're like bottom percentage.
I'm a shot
you know what I mean? Maybe
PvP.
like you barely reach. Like you're barely there, but you understand PvP and you understand also how to stream. So that's why you are shot calling, sir.
True.
I heard you're going to be shot calling this year, no?
Well, I was going to, and then they didn't say anything about Node Wars at the ball, so that's out the window. But yeah, that was going to be fun until it wasn't going to. But again, if we want to stay away from PvP, even from a PvE standpoint, you look at it. You look at the ball from a life skilling standpoint. You're right. Life skillers didn't get almost anything at this ball, so it's an F tier ball for life skillers. It's an F tier ball for PvPers overall as well. But you know, we won't talk about that. But for PvEers, they didn't get the group content that they want. There's no dungeon. There's no raid. It's only top 0.1% content. Everyone else, for the most part in the game, is going on business as usual for the next 6 months. So again, that's why, again, I rate the ball pretty low this time, because nobody's really getting a whole lot of new stuff except for us, Rapolis. Interestingly enough, like me and you, we get all the new stuff. We get the Sovereign weapon, the sub weapon. Yeah. We get the new Adania armor. We get to enjoy the new content. And I'm excited about all that. But like, let's be honest, the vast majority of players it's not going to get to do that stuff.
Yes, but don't you think that having endgame content is very important for people's future, just so you can look forward to it?
Of course it is.
Seeing that the future is depressing, why do you want to play the game? So,
well, of course, endgame content is important for players. But again, I think it's really important that some of the endgame content in an MMORPG should be group content, and we don't have any of that right now.
Yeah, but the thing about group content is how would you do it? Like, the one suggestion that I heard is like probably the best way is to make every spot a group spot, but you just choose. It's either a solo or a group.
No,
not how would you do it?
So they've done a great job of this in the past. You look at Olin's. Olin's is a masterwork class. Look at base Olin's, not Dekia. Base Olin's was like a master class in how to make a really fun group grind zone. Turos was awesome. Remember, we had to all go out and grind for our flame with our friends. You had to get one person together with you, and you had to go to Turos and you had to grind with your friend to get your flame. Remember when Turos came out? That was really fun.
Yes.
And then, like, when they came out with the new, with the abandoned monastery, that was pretty fun too, right? Miramok, when Miramok first came out, and you got to go grind with your friends at trees. Oh my God, that was so much fun. They don't really, not every spot needs to be a group spot, but one in like 3 to 5 spots probably needs to be some sort of group content. Most importantly, they already talked about it the last ball, and this is why I was kind of excited for it this time. They talked about the group boss splits, the guild boss splits. First of all, they nailed it with that for the most part. People love that game mode, but they also said originally that was supposed to be a 10 to 20 man raid. potentially, and they said that they were going to save that for later, and that they were still looking at doing that. I was hoping that maybe either one, we would expand on the guild boss blitz, or two, we would get a guild dungeon, which is group content, or guild raid, which again is group content.
I don't think, like, hot take. Wait, I forgot what I wanted to yap about because I read chat. My ADHD brain.
To me all the time.
Yeah, I
get it.
What did you? Okay,
I was talking about
quickly
group content, and I was talking about raid, the dungeon.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, like, I like BDO. Okay, clearly, I wouldn't spend so much time and real money here, but I don't think BDO is a raid game, so it doesn't have to be a raid. Like, implement, like, oh, World of Warcraft has great rating, or like you shouldn't like immediately add that. I do agree on the group content availability would be lovely. They did make it so you can now help out your guildies even though you're capped on the guild bosses, on the not guild bosses, the blitz bosses. So that was nice. What else did they do? I'm trying to like think of like group content wise what they add.
Well, to speak to your point on raids a little bit, it doesn't need to be a raid-focused MMO. I'm not asking for it to be a raid-focused MMO, but have the option. It is a sandbox MMO. So to have the option to do a raid or a dungeon with your group would be important. It would be good to do. Not everyone has to do it, but like having the option would be great.
I would say after playing now, like a good example of Chrono Odyssey, I loved the idea of just going to bosses with the boys. Like, it brought me back to like, this is nice to like suddenly like you start 1v1ing the boss and then suddenly more people show up randomly. So on the Heidel Bingo want board that I have on my screen, think of the follows. I have more open world exploration. Remember the first time when they included Caphra chests into the game? Or Caphras into the game, they made an event where you just chest randomly spawn around the world.
Joe never fails. Ran around doing that the whole time. Like,
yes. Do you remember the Zethian clip? Do you remember the Zethian clip where he put a trap next to the chest, laid crouched in a bush, waited for a dude to show up. He got stunned. He looted the chest and started teabagging him. It was literally cinema.
That's good player interaction, bro. Where's
yes,
that
that's
at,
exactly that. My whole bottom board of the Heidel Ball, what I actually want to see from the Heidel, like world boss rework. That was one of the first ones. Lucky Arrows was fantastic content. The just money is garbage. The open world chest event was lovely. I wanted to see that. Just more open world after, like, you know, that. So you're mentioning about the world bosses. I do agree, but we have world bosses. They just need to like adjust them.
Okay. Yeah, again, like, and even for like solo PvE. Now you look at the solo PvE content, right?
That's me.
And and the problem is, and I love solo PvE content too. Believe me, I get it. It's mainly a solo player MMO. However, they said that it was going to be basically weekly gated content. Like all of your enhancing and stuff is all weekly gated. That sucks, man.
The armor stuff was giga sad, but okay. So I think the thing is how you scored it too. I think you score it from a different perspective than me. The reason why I scored it so high is because I know the parameters of what to expect from Heidel Ball. So it's like a realistic comparing to normal Heidel Balls. You know what I mean?
I'm comparing it to normal Heidel Balls.
So what was your 10 Heidel Ball?
My 10 Heidel Ball. I don't think we've ever had a 10.
That's what I'm saying. So what the fuck is this realistic?
But here's the thing. I gave
about?
The Calpheon Ball. Well, I normally give the ball a very high rating. People got mad at me last time because I gave the Calpheon Ball a 7. And that was pretty high. People got upset with me.
They do on the Calpheon Ball.
Right? Well, the Calpheon Ball, I liked that they spoke to the entire PvP scene, and it looked like that they were gonna change a lot of stuff for us. And then they talked about how they were going to work on progression and things like this. And there was a lot of things that they mentioned at the Calpheon Ball that I really enjoyed. And so, like, yeah, again, I thought the game was headed, like could be headed in a potentially positive direction. I have never scored a ball below a 7 in my history. This is the first ball I've scored in immensely low because we had an opportunity.
Think it's that bad, you think?
It was a little rough.
Really?
It's like, let's be honest. It's not killing the game. The game is not dead.
Okay,
it's
but
not
two,
like...
two is like You just ate dog shit. That's what I'm like
It is.
surprised.
Well, it is because again, they made content and only made content for 0.1% of the player base that is weekly gated content, absolutely no group content, no new PvP content, no fixes to old PvP systems, no life skilling changes whatsoever.
The PvP stuff is changing, no? Like
no. That's stuff from the previous ball. Again, we're getting like the resistances are getting removed and stuff. The resistances are getting removed and stuff.
It, so yeah.
I would hope so. They talked about it at the Calpheon Ball. Like that was the surprise at the Calpheon Ball. But again, I'm asking you, Rapolis, who's happy here? The life skillers are not happy. The PvPers are not happy. The solo PvEers are like moderately happy, I guess, but like even they're a little unhappy because their content is going to be weekly gated. Like I don't know. The group PvEers are really upset. Like I don't know who's happy here. And so like I look at this overall. Yes, you're right. I do look at it from another perspective. I look at it from somebody that likes to enjoy a lot more aspects of the game overall. Also, like the Blue Battlefield, the sailing content, disastrous.
Yeah.
It's going to be a disaster.
Okay, so every single time you bring in the topic, I'm like kind of agreeing with you, but my still score is like so high. So I'm like confusing myself. Why did I score it so high? But then I'm like... Like, the thing is about the Blue Battlefield, first of all, it's not Blue Battlefield, it's Blue War. That's the confusing part, because it's not Red Battlefield. Because I was expecting solo content.
Right, correct. That's what I thought,
I was expecting to solo queue and just go kill ships with the boys, you know what I mean? It's fine. But now it's like a group event where it's like, so it's a node war, but for ships. So it's like, oh. That's not what I expected, so kind of got debated on that one.
Well, I'll be honest. The Blue Battlefield, I mean, on paper, this sounds like it's going to be an awesome game mode, right? No. Like it's got boats.
Have you ever sailed,
you get to fight with guilds and stuff. But like if you've ever done boat PvP content, you know it's buggy, it's a laggy mess, and it just won't work for the same reasons that they said.
Have you ever PvP'd on a boat, basically?
Oh yeah, many times. Yeah, many times. Like I have two Carracks, both of which are blue geared. Like I've done my fair, even before Carracks, I did a lot of PvP boat content. It was fun. I used to love it, but like, dude, it's a mess. It's a hot mess. You can't do like a competitive. And to be clear, I don't know why they revisited this. Before they said, we're going to do Blue Battlefield. Then they said, it's dead. We can't do it. And we understood. All the sailors were like, we get it.
Yes.
It's not possible.
We get it, because first fix the ocean stuff, like just how the water works, and then you can add the blue bottle. But like the fact that they just added it, it was like, huh?
It's like, wait, what?
It was
out of nowhere. Furthermore, it's a large-scale PvP boat mode. How many players do you even know, Rapolis, that own a boat with blue gear? Like, bro, I'm thinking it's less than a dozen. Like, I know
now with the Carrack's pretty easy. For EU, it's pretty...
But how many of them want to do a node war every day? Because it's going to be every day.
Our guild has plus 15 players. So that's... But the thing is, like, I'm not disagreeing with you, but there will be players.
There will be, but I would say it'd
still be basically red battlefield queues, aka non-existent.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I agree too. I think that like it's a great idea on paper. I don't think that there's quite enough player base there. I think that people will try it when it comes out. Like I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna give it a go, man. I think it's gonna be like I'm gonna try. Like I'm gonna shot call. I'm gonna be calling my guild members like slaves, like paddle harder slaves. You know what I mean? Like I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. But also.
Okay, that's the most exciting part, you're right?
That's the best. That's going to be the best part of the whole thing is RP.
Okay.
But like, I don't know. Like, I think that it's going to be kind of a crash and burn overall. I think it's going to be exciting at the beginning. People are just going to stop
it's too random. Like nobody asked for it. It's
correct.
Like okay, it's just so random.
Should have been.
Like I don't get it.
Yeah, the waves can block your like cannon shots. Like there's all kinds of stuff that can happen.
Oh yeah, server swapping.
Like, god, dude, it's a mess. But like either way, So the boaters are not very happy either, even with the Blue Battlefield stuff. So again, I look around and I'm like, well, nobody's really happy. It's not even just from a PvP standpoint. It's literally from everybody's standpoint. Now I understand the people who are most happy are the solo PvEers. Okay, because who have a lot of gear. Those players are probably content. And to be clear, I don't think that players are necessarily like quitting the game. The game's not dead or anything. Like it's not gonna die. It was a bad ball. But like we're fine. I just think that we had an opportunity here to pick up a lot of players from like Throne and Liberty. You remember how when Lost Ark was kind of dying all at once, they had like the 3 Bozo stream, and then we had our Heidel Ball, and it was really good.
The emergency
Land
stream.
of the Morning Light, the Land of the Morning Light part 1. That would have been a 10 out of 10 Heidel Ball. You know why? Because it took all of those Lost Ark players. They got really excited about playing our game, and they all came over here with a massive surge in players. That's a 10 out of 10 Heidel Ball. We had the same opportunity with the Throne and Liberty player base, and we fumbled hard. Yes, we fumbled super hard. This was a huge fumble.
The thing, what you just described, it's not really like a Heidel Ball issue. It was just...
It was a perfect storm. It was a perfect storm.
It's a perfect storm that doesn't like... It's like... I'm trying to make a comparison, but like, just because Lost Ark failed and then there was a bunch of players and then they just happened to make a Heidel Ball afterwards doesn't make the Heidel Ball better.
But no, you're right. But they capitalized on the opportunity, which does make the Heidel Ball really solid, because playing an MMORPG with a lot more people is a lot more fun. So like
100%.
The fact that they nailed the delivery, because like they had been working on that expansion for a long time. They introduced this boss blitz, which is this brand new feature of the game. Node wars were still super active at the time. We had open world PvP still. Like there was a lot drawing Lost Ark players in. Mainly, again, they introduced some more solo PvE content to the game that Lost Ark players were like, this could be cool. And the combat system was similar enough to Lost Ark that they were willing to give it a go. Like, let's be honest, BDO is just a stronger game overall than Throne is. But the problem is, Throne has much stronger large-scale PvP systems than BDO does. Well, Throne's not doing so great right now. So we had the opportunity to just, all they really needed to do was like, okay, we're going to do 2
more bring in on the people.
Yeah. Like, hey,
I agree with you on the capitalizing and just seeing where you are in the market would be a better thing that they should have probably mentioned something. I did want more PvP, but basic PvP stuff where, from my perspective of like, obviously I'll say Shadow Arena back, but that was literally like what I wanted. Just 1v2s, 2v2s, just basic PvP modes where you can actually get into a PvP mode in BDO would be lovely.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Sorry.
No. An entrance mode, PvP mode would be great. I think, again, AOS does that pretty well overall. But an entrance...
but that's what I'm saying. AOS ranked, every 3 months?
Well, what do you want? Do you want... Yeah, well, true. Do you want... there's an AOS practice mode.
No, that's not casual PvP, Blue. Don't you dare say that.
That is casual PvP.
Dare.
What are you talking about?
How is that casual PvP? Facing... just suddenly queue in against Armin? Oh, okay, that's casual. Getting teabagged, bro? No.
Fair.
No.
That's fair. But okay, so do you want more...
The only time I'm having fun in AOS ranked is when I face the same level of a Papega. That's when I try to... yesterday, finished my stream with the 1v3 and I won. That's what I want. That's what I'm saying. You actually get hooked on PvP. I still remember that game. I performed garbage, but I was against garbage players, and I won. That's what I'm saying. That's how you slowly get into it.
Yeah, okay, so do you want 10v10 practice, like Guild League, or do you want 1v1 practice? Or what are you asking for? Are you asking more?
Just how, as a player who doesn't PvP, how do you get into PvP without getting into... Okay.
You have all the gear in the world. You could dumpster people on Arsha.
Yes, but then you have to be in the PvP setup versus... That's why I also have on the bingo board grinding gear, PvP gear, swap when flag. So I would love that option.
Well, didn't they say that we were getting that in August? That was part of the ball that I liked.
I think that was...
They said
wasn't
presets.
That presets?
Yeah,
but
isn't
that
what presets
swap.
are?
No,
That's
but you can swap,
are?
sure. I thought presets was just you just choose the same way you preset crystals.
Oh, Jesus.
That's how I understood it.
Oh, it's even worse than I thought. I thought that was the preset thing.
How did you understand?
I thought that it was like the swap thing where we could do the full auto, the swap. Hey, you have gear presets. They had been talking about for the last 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so even if you can swap outside the combat zone, let's call it the way the crystals work, but even then, let's call it you can insta swap to PvP gear. So you're gonna swap in the middle of a grab? Someone you're grinding in PvE and then someone grabs you and then you swap. Well, let me just... You
could make it a toggle. You see someone approaching you and you just ting Alt C or something, and Alt C automatically flips your...
Yeah, that's the perfect world where I can go to Arsha and actually have a chance of PvPing someone. Yes, that would be a good PvP intro to the game, but we don't have that, so that's not an option.
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, I mean, it's I agree, but like again, what you are voicing about PvP, how there's no intro mode and you don't feel like there's like a clear path for you into the game that or into PvP.
No, it's just I'm just saying from a
part of
perspective
the problem, of a PvE player. I know.
I want to get into PvP because people keep yapping like it's fantastic, and I didn't like. That's the reason why I created a ranger because of Shadow Arena. Slowly get into it. We need just those small steps at the beginning.
Shadow Arena would be great. Just give us that instead of hardcore servers. I don't get it.
Okay, please
just remove hardcore and give us Shadow Arena. I don't get it.
Explain, like, okay, because apparently the argument for Shadow Arena is two things. It wasn't popular, which was total cap, and Shadow Arena. The second reason why they didn't bring in is because of the cheaters or the hackers.
No. Hackers and cheaters. Don't tell me they couldn't have fixed that. This is
That's
one of
what
the
I'm
best.
saying.
This is one of the best companies that I have ever seen at stopping cheaters and hackers and RMTers and all that shit from happening.
You can deal with that.
They could have dealt with that. All they needed to do was reactivate Shadow Arena instead of hardcore servers. Just take away hardcore. Nobody cares. You could have had Shadow Arena, and you could have just released new classes for Shadow Arena every month or so. Just like make it a new batch of 6 or 7 classes that you can get in Shadow Arena. That's all it had to be. Like straight up. Like it would have been great. People would have loved it. Intro mode to PvP, anonymous.
Dude, Shadow Arena was so popular, they tried to make it into a standalone. It's fine if they like failed it. I'm okay with you trying to like, okay, you tried something, you didn't work out. It's fine. Put it back because people loved it. People loved to a point where I even saw Lyric download BDO just to try Shadow Arena. That's how popular it was. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was there. I played it. It was fun. I had a good time with it. And again, they made it the standalone was a meme. But again, they should have just kept it in the game. Like, I don't understand why they didn't just keep it in the game. Again, it was all clearly a cash grab. Like, it was not even a question. But like,
it's fine. Like, I understand perspective of like them trying to make money, but it's just bring it back because like people were happy.
Thanks for the
why
right, big
wouldn't
man.
you want the players to be happy? Like, I don't get it.
Did Waka like
I don't get the point of view.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, Wakiyashi rated me. I'm wondering what he thought about it. So yeah, I mean, like,
I keep asking as well.
I know. I'm wondering what everybody thought about the ball. Apparently, I'm the only person that thought it was like a garbage.
Because I think you have a very like. That's why this is why.
I'm not being paid.
You are 100%.
No,
I saw your last enhancing video. You clearly got some sort of influence and money.
That's not by Perlibus.
Check his PayPal chat.
Holy shit, that's crazy. Yeah, I'll be honest. I think that people sleep on this. They give it like a week or two. I know I have the hot take right now that it was not what people wanted. But again, I explained this in black and white, and you're like, man, I'm kind of agreeing what you're saying. And now I'm wondering if I rated the ball too highly. Yeah, I think that's what people are going to come to the conclusion to after a while.
Yes,
like
I think just we have two different perspectives of like how you're evaluating. So it's not the same value bar. It's not like you're comparing two orange, like you're getting 2 oranges out of 10 and I'm giving 7.9 bananas out of 10. That's like at least that's my point of view.
I compare it to strictly other Heidel balls. I still give it a 2. Most Heidel balls,
I don't think you are.
No, most Heidel balls, I can look back through history. I'll check it. But most Heidel balls at least address most Heidel balls at least address players' feedback to some extent. Like, hey, to some extent, as a player, I feel like okay, they at least heard something, or they're pushing like some sort of content that I'm going to enjoy, like forward, right? In this case, again, they kind of missed the mark across the board, even for Adania. If there were aspects of Adania that looked really cool, and then we're gonna weekly gate the whole thing, cooked. Players' feedback equals Blues feedback. No, players' feedback. Players' feedback like the community's feedback.
No, chat is saying you're dooming, but I'm saying you're being realistical.
I'm trying to be realistic.
I'm trying to, the thing is like, we're coming from pretty much the same thing. Mm-hmm. We're just explaining in words differently. That's all it is. He's not dooming, he's just realistic / dooming, like, but it's fine. You know what I mean? And I'm glazing. Exactly. That's I think we're literally yapping the same thing. But
I think chat is just... Yeah, I mean, like, if people... Like, I know people are going to call me a doomer and stuff because I didn't get... So when I went through my, like ball, there were aspects, there was a decent amount where I was like, this is a W change. This is really good. Like the quality of life changes were all really, really good for the game. And then like Alchemy Stone rework was really good. The preset thing I thought was really good. Maybe it's less good than I thought it was, right? But like there's aspects of it that are really solid. The Sovereign offhand looks pretty solidly designed, although I don't really like that we're stepping even further away from build diversity, but now there's no more.
No, that was,
but like, okay, whatever. Yeah, like
it's not new that the build diversity, we're building the same thing everywhere.
Correct.
Like,
and that's why, that's fine.
So
totally fine.
Let's take the example of the armors that we're getting, right? So armors look great. You can focus on the fact that the armors look great.
Correct.
But also you can, but for me, like let's say the argument is armors, and we take the armors but then you add the enhancing stone once a week, which is just, you ruin it.
You ruined it.
It's like,
exactly. So to me,
so then you see,
to me, again, I'd say that tanks for me. Mainly because you have great content that you've destroyed, just like hardcore servers. You have great potential content that you've basically destroyed because you've decided to do something stupid. And that's very frustrating to me. Like, because like Adonia looks like it could be pretty cool.
That's what I'm saying. The thing is, they nailed the idea, right? But then you can adjust it. You know what I mean? It's fine. I don't know why they're so like strict on, like, let's say hardcore servers can be adjusted. You can remove some of the skills. You can remove some of the classes. You can add new classes. Like, just slowly build up from the idea, because the idea is good. Like, I would love to play Tarkov BDO. You know what I mean? When I first heard the idea of the hardcore servers, it was literally Tarkov BDO, like a extractor MMO. I was like, holy, that could be literally sick.
What?
So you can, continue with that idea and just make it even better. So hopefully, when it comes to with armors and the stones, they're going to realize gatekeeping this hard, the enhancing stones, is a stupid idea, and they're adjusting it.
Again, yes, that's adjustable. You know what else was adjustable? Having multiple classes in hardcore servers, which is what really limited it from being a solid game mode.
Correct.
And they didn't adjust that either. So like I have again, my patience for this is at an all-time low in terms of what I think that they're actually going to be willing to adjust about the content based on community feedback. I think we're all going to give them the feedback. We don't want the weekly gated Adonia stones. And I think, you know what they're going to say? You know it, Replis. You already know. They're going to be like, well, we don't want another sovereign situation where you finish it on day one. That's what they're going to say.
Yeah, but both of them are very big extremes. They need to like not think black and white. You know what I mean? Because like the primordial stones, I assume that's what you're referring to. That's day one.
That's
no. The primordial stones, though.
Oh yeah, primordial stones.
The ones you get from the bosses.
Right.
Now, on day one, you can clearly see that those stones, you give out way too much. You can change that on day one. Correct. The only problem with BDO that I see so far this whole time, they're just slow. Like, even like, let's say the Alchemy Stone rework, we finally got it. But we've, like, what, after 5 years? Like, where were you, bro?
Huh. Squad is so negative, let him go react to TNL. Guys, I had very positive takes about the ball, and then my overall perception of the ball was quite negative. I think the game is doing all right now. I think that we're doing okay. The game's not going to die. The game's not going to die. I'm not saying the game's going to die, or I'm trying to doom on that, but I'm saying that the ball itself, compared to other Heidel balls and compared to like what we're used to, this was not it. And then again, we didn't seize the opportunity, and I'm just being honest. I'm trying to be negative.
I think realistically, I don't want to say you're clickbaiting with the 2 out of 10, but from what we yapped about, you
see where I got
like some of the ideas, but then you don't like, let's say, the armor. You like how it looks, how it like feels, like the idea from Tetford to Pen. Yep. Exactly. So you should look at it as like a half full. What's the saying? Cup half full.
Well, that was one of the better things, Rapolis. You understand, from PvP standpoint, it's basically you're like a 1 or a 0. Okay, like you got basically nothing. Life skilling standpoint, 1 or a 0. They got nothing, right? Group PvE standpoint, 1 or a 0. They got nothing. But again, looking at it glass half full from the armor standpoint, yeah, you could give the armor a 7 out of 10 and still end up at a 2 average here.
No. 7. Why would you ever give that 7 out of 10? That's like a 3 out of 10 armor wise. What's his name? The PvP stuff. I agree with you that they should have uploaded a patch, last patch, but now they're working on it. So I still take it as like finally they're adding that. Like the mouse movement. Man, I got so much shit when I actually recommended that 2 weeks ago. Like, oh, dude, they should just remove that.
So true.
Chat was ballistic.
So
because like
true.
my class, Awakening Zerker, is literally like the main class for mouse movement. So, chat, if you know someone who knows your fam Steve, please reach out to him because that's literally your fam Steve, bro. Like, save him.
Save him. Yeah, I mean, like, realistically, mouse move kind of had to be removed from the game because it just makes the barrier for entry in PvP for new players just way too high. Like, I just think that it, like, I think that really high-end PvPers are going to miss it, but overall, I do think it's a W change for the game because now you can't rotate frontal guards. Frontal guards are actually frontal guards. You can't just, like, change the direction that you're standing in to, like, spin your character around like a fidget spinner to try to dodge people jumping behind you and
flying
stuff.
the sky, change directions and that. Yeah,
exactly. That's frustrating. That's annoying. So that's W. That's absolutely a W. So yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate you sharing your thoughts. Obviously, we feel differently on it, but like again, there were some positive aspects
feel like
of the ball.
we are.
But yeah,
I think we are talking about the same topics. I feel like
we
sorry
are. I'm
for
just
interrupting
more
you, by the way,
PvP.
constantly.
Yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting you too. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not giving you that apology, honestly. You've been rude to me for years.
But I also,
yeah, I think we legit have the same points. I think realistically, when you sleep on it, Blue, I think it's not a 2 out of 10. Like, I don't think you think it's 2 out of 10. Realistically, you would probably be around at 5.
You still realize that's the lowest. You still realize that's the lowest rating I've ever given a ball ever. Even if I do come up to a 5,
sure,
it's still the lowest I've ever rated a ball in the entire history of the game.
But I'm also coming from a perspective where 5 is good. Because 5 is normal. 5 is better than nothing. So we did get something. And I feel like I need to think about what I feel because it is harder for me, I guess, for my brain. Yeah. But I feel like we got some good stuff. Too many goodies, in my opinion. Like the fact that they gave like so much, 7 hammers, 20k crons, just
I don't care
everything.
About the rewards. I don't care. I don't factor the rewards in personally.
Yeah, me too. I thought we got too much, in my opinion. Obviously. The costumes were great. Did you see the costumes?
Dude, it's a literal picture perfect. It like literally it's the same thing as last year, except this time her jeans are literally unbuttoned. Did you see that the female class, the jeans are not even buttoned, they're unzipped and unbuttoned.
Okay, what's the problem, sir?
I didn't say there was a problem. I'm the one that plays the female class.
I'm hearing a negative tone.
Oh, I'm buying it.
Sentence.
The money's already gone. It has left the account. I'm buying it. I'm just saying it's kind of a carbon copy of the bikini we got last year. I'm not unhappy about it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but okay, so from a new player's perspective, I understand, but you also, the thing is, new players are not allowed to say anything from now on because of the journal change, and from the fact that now you'll be able to grind Upper Secrya in a different spot, you're not allowed to have an opinion. That's it.
I wonder how the journal change is going to change everything, too. That's a W.
Just easy. Like the fact that like everything is making it easier for the newer players is like a fantastic change. Because the thing is, like, new players, you already have BDO. Like, you don't need more content. Maybe you do, sure. Like group content would be lovely. But you already have the whole BDO. Like, everything is new for you right now.
Yep. No, I agree. They just need to make it easier on new players. And they are. And I think that that's all great. That's amazing. Slowly. I look at it from the lens of the existing community, the mid game and the end game players. What are they getting at this ball? Mid game players got basically nothing. We were hoping maybe Ataraxian dungeon grind zones would be involved, right? So I was kind of hoping that those would be in here. Nope, didn't get those either. But like again, it wasn't a complete loss for a ball. Maybe 2 is a little low, but either way, I think 5 is too generous.
There we go. There we go.
I still think 5 is too generous because that implies that it was 50% good, 50% bad, and it wasn't. I think that it is at minimum. I'm bringing it up to maybe a 3. I'm still leaving it at a 2 though. I'm leaving it at a 2, but I allow it to come up to a 3.
You know what? I'm happy we had this conversation because at least now you're, it's like a positive, like you're getting from a doomer perspective to like above. You're ascending, sir.
And Rapless,
you're seeing.
Yes, and on the contrary, I'm glad that I am pulling you down from the heavens into the doomer hellscape of a perspective.
You will
that
never
the rest
pull
of
me
us,
down. I will get you up to the promised land for the
now
green
the ball
paradise, sir.
I've brought him down, boys. See, because now you have to say that the ball's come down from an 8 to a 6 or 7.
I definitely, the thing is, like, these are conversations that are great. That's why when, like, I was making the Chrono Odyssey review on the YouTube, I was making sure I don't watch other players' perspective because the way we see games are different. That's why, that's
100%.
why unique streamers
What do you
exist.
think
That's
of
why you
Chrono?
go to. I'd say overall everything was good for the first 20 hours, and then I noticed a pattern of like unfinished. Then I saw the clips afterward, like how they copy pasted the New World stuff, and I was very
crazy.
worried.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I was. The
I
thing
loved
is,
the
like,
first 20 hours though. First 20 hours were amazing. I think.
yeah, but
I
like
think
it's
could be really
also
good.
it's very hard to say like what do you think about the game when you don't like. Maybe if I played New World, let's say you coming from not BDO, but you were playing New World before, and then you joined Crown Odyssey. You would have been playing the same thing. How would you feel then? You would do like, oh, we need to do this again. So that would be a different perspective.
Yeah, I mean, like I think the New World players are really going to enjoy it. It's not going to kill BDO or anything, but I do think it's going to be a great game.
Two different games.
Assuming
Two
that they
different
give
games.
yeah, it's different games. But I think that assuming that they polish Chrono Odyssey, they give it an end game, they widen the world out, they optimize it. I think it could be great. I think it has potential to be a great game.
My review was literally beta out of 10 because like it's what I expected from a beta. Like, okay,
Correct.
This is what you got.
Yep.
The thing is more concept out of it. Like the biggest point of it is like it seems like it's two devs. The one dev who made like the aliens, the whole vibe, and then the second dev include New World into it. It's like, huh? So that's like the biggest concern that I have.
Yep. I mean, yeah, I agree too. I think that I didn't realize they're copying, pasting entire swaths of New World. So that's a little concerning, but still could be really good. So we'll see. We'll see on it.
Yep.
Either way, it's good to get your perspective on the ball. Maybe I bring my rating up to a 3, but I'll be honest with you, I'm going to hold solid on a 2. I think that everybody's going to come around to my way of thinking on this. To be clear, I don't think it's really going to affect the current player base. I think we're all going to keep playing. We're all going to keep grinding. We're all going to keep playing the game. I think the purpose of the Heidel Ball, though, is to get us kind of excited about newer content that's coming up. Yeah. And I think that only the top 1% is really super excited coming out of that ball, which is kind of disappointing, because the life skillers and the sailors and the group PvEers and the PvPers didn't really get necessarily what they wanted. But you know what? It's okay. That'll be fine.
Right. I would agree on most of the things you said. You did change perspective on my end to looking from PvP perspective, from the new player perspective, from the group content, whatnot. I kind of watched it from my point of view, just because that's all I can do as to be honest with the way I feel. But I do feel you changed my perspective. My vote goes from 8.1 to 7.9.
Let's
so you
fucking
did,
go! Drag him down with the rest of us. It's like that scene in Hercules where they feed him the potion. You know what I mean? As a baby, and he has to drink the fucking potion.
1%.
Let's fucking
Still
go.
got that
Still got the
1%.
1%, but I got him drinking. I'm like the demons over here. I'm Hades. Great.
That's fine. It's fine. I'll get you to the promised land, man.
All right, sounds good. I love you, buddy. Thanks very much for talking
Love
to me.
you too, man.
Later,
Have
taters.
a good one. Bye-bye.
That was fun. That was a really good talk. That was cathartic. I think that I come across is like, bro, because I had to come at it. He's like, why was your score so low? So I had to address all of the shit points of the ball. And to be clear, it was really funny. Didn't you guys find it really funny that he was like, no, the ball was an 8. And then I go through each of my points and he's like, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, that's true. But it was still an 8. What? Again, I don't know. I mean, it'll be up to the audience to decide if I'm being too much of a pessimist or if I'm just being a realist. I personally feel like I'm just being a realist. Guys, I'm going to play the game regardless. I love the game. I'm going to be on tomorrow and the next day playing the game too. I don't care. I'm going to keep playing the game regardless. So it's not going to change my playtime on the game. But I do think that the ball was not what a lot of players wanted. I think that it was well below the average for the ball. And yeah, I give it a 2.